man, y'all hit that like button if y'all dig in today's show. And, of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. All right, so we know ESPN does an awesome job, especially during this time of year, man, where our good old guy Jeremy, I was about to call him James, Jeremy Fowler, man, wants up the Pittsburgh beat. All right, but he'll go around and talk to different coaches, execs, front office people, man, and kind of get their rankings on players, man. And figure today, man, since, you know, started training camp, and I like linebackers, figure we start with inside linebackers. All right, so for Jeremy Fowler and ESPN's top 10 off-ball linebackers according to executive coaches and scouts of the NFL. I'm gonna read down this list real quick. All right, now remember, Jeremy did not create it himself. This is just the information that he's gathered from the congregation, and he's brought it in here. All right, at number 10, he went with Fayesade, I butchered it, Olakun, the linebacker with the Jacksonville Jaguars, excuse me. Then at number 9, got Dre Greenlaw, linebacker with the San Francisco 49ers. At number 8, Demario Davis, New Orleans Saints linebacker. At number 7, Tremaine Edmonds. Shout out to Tremaine, Chicago Bears. Love to see it, love to see it. Number 6, the one that got away is what I call him, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Mr. JOK with the Cleveland Browns. Don't like your squad, but definitely a fan of his game. Number 5, Nick Bolton with the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, making his appearance on the list for the first time, Deke, rocking that black and gold. We talking about Patrick Queen. All right, then the list. I mean, this list is. I shout out to the list. At number 3, Matt Milano, Buffalo Bills linebacker. Don't do that, Deke. Do not do that. Stop it. Just stop it. At number 2, Roquan Smith, Baltimore Ravens. And then at number 1, Fred Warner, San Francisco 49ers. Stop it. Stop it. I already can't. Just stop it, bro. Why you being negative? Just leave it alone. We're going to read about Patrick Queen. Can we just read about Patrick Queen? We're going to be positive. Can we just talk Patrick Queen? Just leave it alone. Just Patrick Queen.
Queen got snubbed.
No, stop. See? Here you go. Patrick Queen is on the list at number 4. Shout out to Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen last year was not on the list. He was an honorable mention. All right. For this year, his lowest vote was unranked. Highest was 3rd. See? So there you go. Somebody had him at 3rd. Somebody had him at 3rd. That's a salute, right?
It's probably a good list.
See, shout out to whoever that was. Shout out to that person. All
yeah,
right.
like I'll give Fred Warner and Roquan one.
Oh,
I think that makes sense.
That's crazy.
That makes sense.
That is crazy. Deke, why are you doing this, Deke?
I think 3's wide open for a guy like Patrick Queen.
Deke, why are you doing this, bro? Why? That's crazy, Deke. Why you want to be like this, bro? Why you got you violence, man? Just let the list be, man. This is scouts, execs, and coaches. They said. We just reacted. They said it, man. You about to put that venom on Matt, man. Matt's recovering from a leg injury, man. Let Matt continue on his recovery.
That's why I'd probably bump him down a little bit more.
Yeah. So we're going to read about what Patrick Queen. All right, I'm going to read what they said about Patrick Queen. Pittsburgh's linebacker tradition is rich, but the team rarely spends top dollar in free agency. By giving Queen a 3-year, $41 million deal in March, Pittsburgh effectively plucked a star out of rival Baltimore while reimagining the middle of its defense. Queen did a little bit of everything for Baltimore, racking up 133 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 6 pass deflections. Closing speed and blitzing ability, an AFC executive said, he'll make a big impact on Pittsburgh's defense. A few veteran NFL coaches said that while Queen is a physical run player and solid in man coverage, he misses plays he should make in match zone coverage. Lack of instincts might show now that he's not playing next to Superman, and in parentheses they put Roquan Smith, one NFL exec said also. So how you feel about
I think that's why you have Smith
man?
Above Queen right now, but let's see what Queen can prove whenever he's the top dog on his own team. Now, he had his chance with the Ravens his first couple years, but now he's a little bit more mature. Now he's hitting the prime of his career. Yeah, I think, that's going to be the, I guess, make or break point for him and whether or not he can overpass a guy like Roquan Smith? Like, can he take over this team, this Steelers team, and be as good, if not better, as a Roquan Smith over there in Baltimore?
No, that's facts, man. He's kind of gonna be like Simba. You know, he had the first chance and he ran away. Then he came back.
That's the thing. Like, he was still good. It's just Baltimore was looking for a little bit more.
They got Roquan Smith. I was like, boy. But then you saw an instant uptick in Patrick Queen once Roquan got there.
I think Queen helped out Smith though a little bit too, because we weren't talking about Roquan Smith like that with the Bears. I know he was still up there, but he I mean, being with the Bears kind of hid his talents.
Yes. But he was for certain still talked about. It was just he played in Chicago. I think now
we weren't talking about him being number 2 though. Like he was in the top 5, top 6, top 7. But now with him being on Baltimore and good organization, good defense, good coach, and all that, and having a Patrick Queen next to him, he's elevated to 2. So I think he got some help.
If you're on a winning team, you're going to be viewed more favorably. I mean, I think history is showing that certain dudes, man, it's like, yo, because he plays on that team, they talk about him as an all-time legend. You're like, bro, he ain't even like that. This dude way nicer, but he plays on a terrible team, so he's not getting that type of notoriety. So sometimes, I mean, that is the case. And for certain, they both complement each other. But I just think we all, when we're watching the Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen tandem, the majority of people would feel like Roquan was the alpha of that of that duo. Even though Batman and Robin, man, Batman is dope by himself, but Robin makes his job a whole heck of a lot easier. Roquan is Roquan, but Patrick Queen made his life a whole heck of a lot easier. We'll see for him when he has to adjust to Trenton Simpson being next to him and what that dynamic is like. Whereas for Patrick Queen, he has a little bit different of an adjustment, but our linebackers here should have that positive uptick that he benefited from, because now he's bringing some talent here that we haven't had realistically since Ryan Shazier. So that's the part where it's like, man, I'm excited for him, and we know he got the dog in him.
Either way, it's pretty cool seeing one of our inside linebackers this high on a list, and it's legit.
Deke, how long has it been since we've had
if
this
anything,
before,
like I said,
man?
I think he's getting snubbed a spot.
Don't do
probably
that.
Top 3 is more appropriate.
Can we just see? All right.
What's crazy though is whenever we signed Patrick Queen, I didn't have a list in front of me or anything. I was talking about him being like top 5, top 6, maybe just off the top of my head. But whenever you really lay this out, like he's right there, top 3. I guess the only knock against him would be he did have a Roquan Smith next to him, but production alone, specifically last year, like it was a top 3 linebacker type of season.
To me, I think when we just simply, just amongst NFL circles, right, and we're just like, yo, which linebacker tandem did we respect better? Which one do we like more? I think we leaned Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw over Roquan and Patrick Queen. And we think Fred was better than Roquan. And up until recently, it was back and forth. I think some people was digging the Greenlaw element. But right now, I mean, Queen is up there, bro. Queen has stepped up in a major way, and that really blossomed with Roquan. And I think that's why we're like, yo, we're going to see what Queen could do by himself now. But that's the reason why he's number 4. And, I mean, realistically, that's the reason why Matt Milano's at 3. Matt got hurt last year, but prior to his injury, and even the first year without Tremaine Edmonds, who's also on this list, because they had their time where it was Tremaine and Matt Milano. Where did they rank in these duos? He's proven that, yo, he could be Batman by himself. He don't need an Edmonds, and that's, I think, why he's on this list also. I mean, if we're just going to read what they say, they obviously bring up the injury, a tibula plateau fracture. It's very gruesome. You don't want to see it. It makes you sick in your stomach. In his right leg, cost Milano most of his 2023 season, but his play in space remains among the best. Over his past 20 games, Deke, you'll like this. Milano has 5 interceptions, 100 return yards, and 13 pass deflections.
Who's he going up against, like Heineke and Ritter?
13 pass deflections. Great mover with instincts.
With those Zach Wilson games, he was getting those picks.
An elite zone coverage player, a veteran NFL defensive coach said, might I add. Here's the negative. Not as good in man, but for what the Bills do, he's perfect. I think I could agree with that. Just an okay blitzer, though. Just an okay blitzer.
Man, you got to wonder how he does coming off this injury.
And then he says Milano's injury should not hamper his efforts in 2024 as he tries to regain his all-pro form from 2 years ago. Prior to him getting hurt, he was all-pro. So that's what we're saying, bro. It's like, yo, Queen has a chance to do this, though, because this will be Queen's chance to stand by himself. That's why I think Milano is up here higher, because he had to show he could do it by himself away from Tremaine Edmonds. And then I think why Tremaine Edmonds is so low, because you think about when Roquan was in Chicago, Roquan made a lot more noise even out there where it wasn't the most glamorous situation. Tremaine got a little quiet out there right now. He's still getting numbers, but it's quiet. It ain't the same, and that's why he's a lot further down that list, man. So I think, I think the top 5 is, I like the list, man. I think they did good on this top 5 right here, man.
I do some moving around in the top 5, specifically the top 3. But after that, it's whatever. It's whatever. I ain't stressing.
No, I mean, I think it was a solid list right here, bro.
Hopefully we get to see Peyton Wilson in the conversation one of these days.
No, that's real life, man. That's real life. Because I'm looking at some of the honorable mentions. I'm like C.J. Mosley, Levante David, Quincy Williams, Logan Wilson, Zaire Franklin, T.J. Edwards, Bobby Wagner. Peyton Wilson, man, if he could do some of this stuff, why can't he be in here?
Yeah.
Because we supposed to have 2 people on this list, man.
Demario Davis is what, 8? He's getting up there in
He's
age.
older now. He's 35. I always say he's been in this league for a minute, bruh.
Right. And Peyton Wilson, he low-key might get an opportunity here with Cole Holcomb being on the PUP list.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be the 3rd guy in the rotation.
Yep.
Starting in training camp. So
And he's super athletic, man.
I saw one play by him today. It was like, oh, man, this is going to be tough to keep him off the field if he can keep doing this. Holy hell.
Like, his athleticism with his size. He was a productive.
That with a Patrick Queen. And it's not like he's...
No, he's a productive player,
soft
bro.
linebacker. Nah. He's just a coverage linebacker. No, he'll jack you up, too.
Like, he's legit. We said, first-round talent. Injuries are what makes people scared of him long term. But in terms of just talent and production, he is the real deal, man. He is the absolute real deal. And that's why, we're about to talk about another article where they're kind of talking about him. You've heard how I've talked about, you've heard, even just league guys, man. When they're talking about it, because it's like, yo, he does a lot. His sideline to sideline, his ability to cover so much ground, his instincts, his eyes, like all these different things that he plays and brings. That's why we're excited about him. Big question is just, yo, is your body gonna hold up? And as long as it holds up, man, cool. But we ain't tripping on that no way, because we ain't have to pay that top premium for you now. So now it's like, hey, man, we house money.
Any other thoughts?
Well, actually, I did have a little bit of a thought. I'm messing around. I ain't got no thought, man. I just like the list, man. I ain't tripping. Like, as I was really going through the list, I'm just like, yo, they kind of was like, yo, they kind of got it right. I'm like, sometimes, they'll have a name or two. We're like, yo, I hate this list. I didn't feel that way about this. No.
Yeah, they saved that for the edge rushers list.
We ain't there yet.
We ain't there yet. TJ Watt's on.
We ain't there. I was like, yo, what I see, I feel like because I saw Patrick Queen so high on the list, it was just like, yo, y'all showing respect. Like, yeah. It's like, I'm good. Like, I don't have a lot of negativity about this, man. And then even just on the back end of it, I'm like, yo, Greenlaw, he produces. Like, outside of him getting hurt in the Super Bowl, like, this dude's available. He's a baller, man. Olukan down in Jacksonville, baller, produces, and they're young. Demario, you can make a case because he's older, but he's still been steadily producing. We can make a case he's been better as an older player than he has as a younger player.
Yeah, I don't think there's any names in the honorable mentions, though, that you're stressing about to put in over Demario Davis.
Like, I like Logan Wilson a lot, but I don't think I put him over Demario right now. I think if we're going to project who is going to be better going forward, then, yeah, you can go that route, but just in terms of what I've seen from both of them thus far, I'm like, yeah, Demario's still, he's still producing, man. CJ older, Levante older, yeah. Bobby older, yeah. All right. Shout out. Oh, and they had some also receiving votes. I forgot to include these guys, but Jordan Brooks down in Miami, Christian Harris with the Texans, Frankie Louvu with the Commanders, and Devin White with the Eagles now also had received votes.
Devin White should be in the honorable mentions at least.
Yeah, oh, that's right, because he wasn't honorable mention. He just received a vote.
Yeah, that's a little
Good
disrespectful.
Call. Good call on that. Not interesting. I'm trying. Yeah.
I know he's had a down tick a little bit, but come on.
Where he started it was just.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, we can see how that kind of hurts some of these dudes, man. They start out with such a hot year 1, year 2. We're like, yo, is that the norm? And then they kind of come back to reality, and we're like, oh man, he sucks now, man. He's washed. It's like, no, he just was on some crazy out of this world stuff early on in his career.